Ahoy there, Legion! Hope the bonus weekend event treated you well. Console Squad finally got a chance to get their hands on the Wraith Twin Vipers, which was long overdue, so hopefully y'all got yourselves a copy. If not, who knows how long you're gonna have to wait for your next chance? Might be another 2 years, or more. Sorry if you missed out on it, I just couldn't resist the opportunity to poke a little fun. Might not get another chance to joke about it for 2 years. What's that? Sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of my Wraith Twin Vipers. No, not that pair, that's my spare pair. I got those this weekend during the alert. I'm just gonna sell that one for credit. ArchWing. I know most folks don't jive with it, so I'll be brief. The ArchWing raid is not ready for update 17.5. We'll still get the boss battle though, so I assume it will appear on Eris and we'll finally have a boss on the planet again. Though let's hope it doesn't have any beacons or no one's gonna be running it. ArchWing enemies will no longer appear on your minimap, but your HUD. Similar to how objectives show up around the edge of your screen, you'll notice enemies quite a distance away without having to stare at your map and fly into asteroids. When you find those enemies, you're gonna notice they're much more aggressive. Apparently they want us to use dogfighting tactics so you can circle strafe and shoot them as they back off and you dodge their attacks when they do the same. Because being swarmed by 20 of these will make this idea amazing in practice. You'll be able to give that a spin in 2 new mission types. Rebecca said on Prime Time that they would be defense and mobile defense, but they did not confirm that here. ArchWing Affinity has been painfully slow to acquire, but that's getting a boost. And they are boosting our sprint speed with afterburners too. After 4 seconds of sprinting, our speed will increase a second time, so it should shorten the time between engagements. We can only hope it's twice as strong underwater. Wukong is the next frame coming to Warframe China, and shortly after to everyone else. His face looks like an insect, but pairing him with a staff and that feather headdress, he's got a nice Lu Bu vibe Dynasty Warrior fans might appreciate, or run away from, depending. Abilities-wise, it seems like he has a knockdown move similar to Soul Punch. His ultimate is a close-ranged smashing move that apparently sends enemies reeling, but his most impressive move is when he turns into thin air. Similarly to TF2's Cloak and Dagger Watch for the Spy, you only lose energy if you move. This ability alone makes him a serious contender for the stealth-focused player at home. Formerly Bacon Frame, Atlas is a melee caster. His first ability has you charge and strike an enemy, but if you do it again shortly after, it will cost half as much and deal double damage. They mentioned this will continue to stack, but I assume there will be a cap in place at some point. They went on to say other abilities will be getting the same treatment, but I'll get back to that in a minute. He can spray a rock mist something out of his eyes and that slows enemies down before turning them to stone. So think Glaxian, but with rocks. You can create a barricade in front of him for defense, and then turn it into a rolling stone which will gather no moss as it hurtles towards your enemies. His ultimate will be 2 Stone Guardian summons, which will be affected by your modding choices. They didn't really say how, other than power strength will increase their size. Also didn't explain if this was anything but a visual change or what, but I'm sure you'll be comparing the size of your rock-hard companions with all your close friends. He'll be available in 17.5 via a quest and a boss battle, somehow. On the topic of Warframes, Velk's pre-Corpus skin will also usher in some quality of life changes for the last. Ripline now casts and pulls you much faster than before, and repeated castings are cheaper, like with Atlas's charge attack. Her ultimate is getting an exalted blade-like tweak, which takes into consideration the mods you have equipped, and you can even toggle it on and off, so no more duration builds necessary. Well, we put it off enough. Mesa, Peacemaker's in for some changes. While I felt the ability was far too strong from the beginning, I didn't mind how it considerably sped up runs. But now, things very likely are going to change. Instead of affecting everything everywhere around Mesa within range, you're going to be limited to a small cone where you aim. But every time you kill or hit an enemy, it will increase the size of that cone. The second rub being, the wider the cone, the less damage you do. They did not say, but I can only assume with the reduction of damage in the scope, the initial damage multiplier will be a great deal higher to start out with. We don't know enough or have the data on hand to say when the damage fall-off becomes weaker than what we are currently used to, or if it will even be possible to cover half as much range in the future as you can today, so Mesa fans of the universe, brace yourselves. And non-Mesa fans might want to close the curtains and stay inside a while. It's probably going to get a bit rowdy. As the raid is getting pushed back a bit, they brought up arcanes and that they're getting an overhaul. For starters, there will be more of them, and the time it takes to make and the cost to swap them out will both be cut down to more reasonable levels. They even have a new menu screen set up just for them. 2 new weapons are on the way, neither of which have names yet. One was referred to as the Ragdoll Pistol Weapon, which punts enemies better than your rival football team. Am I right? 3 cheers for the the home team, y'all. This year, baby. This is the year we take it all. I'm telling you, I got a feeling. The primary weapon is a beam rifle that shoots similarly to the Phage, with one laser firing out your left and one out your right. As you continue to fire, the beams rotate forward and focus towards one point. But, if you wish, you can throttle it if you prefer more of an AoE approach. The alt fire is supposed to let you do this more easily by reversing the primary fire's options, but they're working out the kinks. The Temple Guardian Rhino skin will likely be sold for plat with a weapons set, and they showed off the melee one today. It apparently has the face of a cat-like creature on the front, but other than that, the weapon looks quite nice. The new Special Corpus units are coming out in 17.5, along with their hovering and female variations. These guys will mess with your UI when close, and can even interrupt certain categories of Warframe powers, so expect all the stuff you like to use not to work around them. The good news is their helmets are the source of this aura, and it's quite weak, so 1 or 2 shots later and you should be fine. Also, the aura doesn't work through walls, only within line of sight. If you take cover, you can avoid it. These units will also sport 4 different types of weapons, which will change how they attack you, along with their hover skates, so expect to run into some zany combinations. Syndicate handshakes are in, as well as toggleable meditation, so emote fans enjoy both of those. Star Chart 3.0 is getting worked on, but they had virtually nothing to say about it. Void keys will still work with it, but it was implied they won't be as common in the future. Equinox's men can now also heal your shields. The Ratko Cerno Syndicate proc breaks stealth, so they're working on fixing that. The Boar is about to be re-released with updated looks and things, but that's after 17.5. Charge attacks are all animated and just need to be programmed into function. They did bring up multi-shot, and that Glenn wasn't with them on the couch this week, which admittedly made me chuckle, but they also said some curious things I didn't exactly agree with. I'm saving those bits for another video should the need arise, but the short list on multi-shot changes are, they're now looking at a much larger scope than just changing one mod. These things tie into other mandatory mods, their thoughts on how to handle them, and the effects of enemy scaling. They even said weapons will change as we level them up instead of only granting more mod points. Overall, it was good news, but much like comparing a book to a movie, how many times has someone described a game to you only for it to still be accurate when you play it, but you put it together much better in your head than the devs did in reality? That's the sort of stuff I'm talking about. But that's Grumble and Talk, and I try to keep these recaps and reviews positive for you, so we'll take a rain check on that shenanigans. As always, thank you for watching, and catch you next time, Legion. Take care.